we all got our feelings out about the 49ers Eagles
I was
game.
hurt for you, dog. Like totally
It
unfair.
was it was it was hard
Totally
to
unfair.
watch.
I was just like,
It's like
come
I think
on,
the whole
bro.
sports world was just it was almost like mourning the Niners. Like this
Yeah,
ain't we knew this was gonna be a good game if
yeah.
played on the level playing field. Like everybody knew this
You
was probably gonna be better than the other one.
It
If
helps
not,
to accept it during the game, though. Like, all right, well,
yeah,
in the
that's what we
way
want to see
well,
Purdy
too.
in the way Purdy was like his demeanor during the injury. I'm like, man, that kid ain't hurt. Ain't no way. Because
He
like
didn't look
his face never changed. It was just
because,
it was almost like he was relieved that he didn't have to perform under that pressure. Like, but come to find
but
out, he UCL. I'm like,
man, but it's also like
mhm.
I think it's a level of competitiveness and like when somebody is hurt, you look at somebody.
damn.
Let's say Aaron Rodgers, you playing with a broken thumb or whatever. Like he every pass, he's not
Yeah,
like
but I mean,
they
you see him
all
every
even
now and again, like flexing it. My man's was just like
but
straight
you
face.
really but with that
Even
type
when
of
he was
injury,
working it, it was just like straight face. I'm like,
you can't flex it
he hurt?
really because the way if you can only throw the ball possibly 5 yards and they said it's immense pain and it was pain shooting up and through his
That's
whole arm, like
crazy.
dude, I'm trying to keep it together the whole
Yeah,
time.
that's
Like
crazy.
so, like even Patrick Mahomes, you look at him with his ankle, like you know his ankle's hurting. You can noticeably see him limping, but
Man, that
he's not
man.
like when he got it taped up like that game.
They said he
Moving,
didn't get shot. He didn't get no shots. Man, bro.
I don't believe
moving.
that.
I don't believe that either.
He's got to either be superhuman or he got some shots.
Nah,
Cause
I
I'm
just
like, bro, this and then that whole Travis Kelsey back issue, I thought that was bullshit too. Like, nigga, your back is fine, bro.
Oh yeah, and they was talking about he
Like,
wasn't gonna play. I was like, ain't no
stop.
way.
I'm
everybody
like,
knew he
when I
Ain't
wasn't.
seen
no
that
way.
in the morning, I'm like, stop, bro, stop. Like watching
Okay,
that 250 yards in the first quarter. Like,
so speaking of that, like we got to talk about these refs. Do y'all care or do y'all think the refs do a good job? Do you think they have too much control? Like, because people lose their jobs over these calls. People lose their jobs. Coaches, players. It could be a difference between getting paid, not getting paid, a catch, a drop, a
man,
nine call, out of
I
bounds,
hate
pass
talking about the
interference,
refs,
field goals. Like it's
but
so much that
when
goes into what their calls do. What do y'all think? Does
I
that
hate talking about the refs, like, so I try to limit that as much as possible. But there's been some terrible referee play lately, or terrible referee officiating lately, so to say. Um, I mean, I don't even know what you do about it per se. I don't even have a solution. Um, I don't know, but there's been some terrible, just all around blasphemous calls lately from NBA and NFL. Like, I don't really know what you even do about it, but I'd hate to say that they're doing a terrible job, but they're doing a terrible job.
what
Maybe
you
they need
think?
to add in some punishments or some kind of stipulations for blown or terrible calls. I'm not sure, but it's kind of hard to watch at times.
What you think, Justin?
It's irrelevant. Ain't nothing gonna change. It's just what they do.
Mm-mm.
So I mean,
Nope.
the refereeing's been bad. It is what it is. Like I told y'all, at the end of the day, in that Bengals game, I think that game goes to overtime if it wasn't for that last call. And don't get
At
me wrong, that
worst
wasn't the only
case,
call. I think worst case it goes to
yeah,
overtime. Because I'm so sick of the whole roughing the passer stuff in the NFL. Like
yeah,
it just it's bad. And
yeah. It's bad.
I had somebody the day after the game, and I told him, I said, man, I just want y'all to go back with an open mind and watch the video. I said, look at my man's knee when he hits out of bounds. I said the impact, the touch he had with Patrick Mahomes was only because his knee buckled. I said, because if
Mhm.
you look at, I actually thought due towards ACL. 58, I think the linebacker, 58,
Yeah,
57, whatever it is.
offside.
Yeah, for real. If you look at that video, I thought he actually tore his ACL when they showed the replay. I was like, dang, his knee looked like it for real buckled on him.
Yeah.
They penalize him, Patrick Mahomes. He sells it. It is what it is. But like stuff like that, man, it wasn't malicious. So
I
like,
never even watched the replay. I couldn't even tell you what
yeah,
happened. I
yeah.
saw
If
it
you go back,
live and I was just like, that's it.
yeah, I said the same
I
thing. It's
was
just
like,
what it
that's
was
game.
is like
Game.
shortly after that they replayed it,
Uh-huh.
and I saw it and I said, "Oh man!" Like I said, "Are y'all paying attention to dude's knee?" And like his knee buckled, bro. If you go back
Yeah.
and watch it, it like his knee. I thought he tore his ACL. Real talk.
watching it
So,
live,
okay.
I felt like it was a legitimate call, even if I feel like it wasn't. It wasn't intentional. I mean, I feel like you gotta call that because if that was Burrow, I would want that call all day. So I feel like that call was legitimate, but I do feel you with having referees inside the game. I mean, that always sucks. But during the course of that, that's why I'm one of them fans that I'm not totally blaming the referees because it seems like every time we were screwed, damn. All right. Welcome to Jared Hour.
He don't want to be on the big screen by himself.
Oh, okay. That's what you was doing.
Yeah, I'm like,
Yeah.
just keep talking.
I'm like, damn, where's everybody at? That's why I'm like, welcome to Jared Hour then. Like, I started
Oh
to
man.
stay talking, but I was like, nah, let me chill. Man, bro, you be just doing new stuff and you ain't done that before. I ain't know what was
He
going
don't
on.
tell nobody nothing,
I'm just
What?
like,
Why?
I'm just
Y'all
like,
need.
and then it got all big. I'm like, damn, my hairline is fried. Like,
Oh man, y'all be worried about the
nah,
wrong stuff,
nah,
This
but
is
man.
why I wear a hat.
But what I was saying though, just to finish that point, I feel like all the bad calls that were made against us, I feel like we prevailed a lot of them, damn near all of them. That's why I can't even chalk the loss up to the refs because I feel like the bad calls that the refs made, I feel like what I'm saying, we triumphed over them. We just like the 3rd and 9, we stopped them, and then they were just like, oh well, that play didn't count. We stopped it. And then we got the sack that next 3rd down, and then they called a holding penalty, which fucking Eli Apple that was another valid
It
call,
was a
actually.
valid
We
hold.
grabbed him, you know what I'm saying? And then, we end up stopping him again. But it's just like I feel like we did pretty good with the blown calls. It's just we didn't execute well enough. Like I just still feel like the offense wasn't clicking how it should have. I mean, granted, we was down 3 starting linemen and Tyler Boyd went out. That killed everything. But I mean, you can't make no excuses.
But
I mean, you
yeah,
got
I mean, but the
now,
line held up against
I
us
can make
still.
excuses if you ain't got no quarterback. That's a valid excuse. But for us, I mean, we had enough to win, bro. We just didn't make
Okay,
it happen when it was
so the
necessary.
And we
so the
got
call.
you see the comment?
Oh yeah, I'm putting it up right now.
Okay.
So so Brandon says,
That's
even with the
facts.
game the way it was going, you can't put yourself in a position to where the ref can call it. So
Absolute
I
facts.
agree, and that's what I was actually about to say. Thanks for the comment, Brandon. I look at the Patrick Mahomes one is they made the paint on the side of the line wider just for that call, so they can justify calling when somebody's that unnecessary roughness when somebody's once 1 foot touch out of bounds, you cannot touch that player no more. So the fact that he was pretty much out of bounds and he still pushed him regardless if he was falling whatever it's accidental contact, they're gonna call
Yeah,
that.
you gotta call that.
You
But here's the
kind of
thing.
got to.
Like I
So
hear y'all, but that literally you're only kind of saying exactly where my issue lies with the NFL. You have to use discretion. I'm sorry. Like every play is not the same. And you only come to expect that call, Jared, because that's what they do now. But if
Hmm.
that wasn't the norm, or you saw them actually use discretion, your view probably would change on that.
I actually
So
feel like it was
I
kind of
agree with
egregious,
Brandon
though. Really,
100%. What'd you say?
I feel like it was actually kind of egregious for real. Like I felt like it was just crazy. I was
See,
with the
but you're
guy that was
saying that,
walking
but
into
you're
the
not
locker room like, can't touch the quarterback. Like,
okay. So do me a favor.
yeah,
Watch the video when you get a chance and tell me
yep,
if your opinion still stands. And it may,
got you.
because I do agree with Brandon 100%. You can't even put yourself in that situation.
Yeah,
It's just, to me,
that's
I'm
just
just looking at it after seeing that replay anyway. And I'm like,
hey, you know how
man,
they're
I
calling it.
understand it. I understand. Oh, yeah, 100%.
You know how they're
100%.
calling it,
Yeah.
especially with when you're
It's
maybe with
Mahomes.
the it's
It's
with the
Mahomes.
top
It's
tier
going to get
quarterback.
called.
It
Yeah,
must,
you see
if
the
it
way
was
I'm
if
looking
it
at it,
if
I'm
it
just
was
like,
Burrow,
who
they
let
would have
him get the
called it. If
edge
it was
anyway?
Allen,
How do
if
you let
it
a guy on a
was
bum ankle get the edge like that?
yeah,
That's how I'm looking
that's
at it.
another
That's
thing
my thought
too.
process. I
Like
wasn't even thinking about the penalty. I'm just like, how do you let this nigga on one leg get the edge on you like that in crunch time?
yep, I agree.
Unbelievable.
You gotta
yeah,
kind of
like you,
not put yourself in that situation, especially how they are with
100%.
QBs nowadays. Like it's too much money paid to them, and these owners, and that's the reason why it is the way it is. Because the owners is like, we paying hundreds of millions of dollars to these dudes. Like,
Which they need to stop. Some of these guys don't deserve it. But that's another
that's a whole
thing.
nother conversation.
And that's the
But
sports in general, boy. That's
they're
not even the
they're
NFL
trying to
thing.
protect
So
their assets,
Some of these
protect the
guys.
players, quote unquote. But
yeah, yeah.
They trying
Well,
to
um,
protect their pockets. They don't care about the
yeah,
correct.
players.
yeah,
That
that's
investment.
what I'm
They
saying.
protecting their investment.
It's the investment.
Yeah.
So I get it both ways. Um, when they're in the pocket, though, I think that's totally different, and they definitely should look into those because some of those are
Man, I
egregious
didn't see so
calls,
man,
and it's
boy.
Yeah.
you got these 200-300 pound men coming full throttle towards the QB. Like, you can't tell them to pull up or just hug the QB or just tap
Can't
him
say
or like,
nothing.
bro, we here
Bro.
to hit.
But bro, it goes even further than that. Y'all know y'all done seen it where like they like you said, these big boys rushing and getting blocked by another huge human being.
Or getting
They put
pushed in
their
the back.
hand up. Hold on. They just put
Yeah.
their hand up and they
And they
falling
touched
and it
it. Yep.
grazes the back of the helmet.
Yep.
Penalty. Penalty.
Yep.
What?
Yep.
It's
What?
like, dude, like, I'm just trying to do anything to disrupt this quarterback, and that's putting
Yeah.
my hand up, that's grabbing a shoulder pad, that's a hand in front. I may just be
So
trying to put my hand in front of his vision so he can't see, and it may
Yeah.
graze the face mask, and they're gonna
The,
call it.
yeah.
They're gonna call it. So,
look,
like, no, it's been some horrible ones. Go ahead, I.
I'll say case in point for actually what she was just saying, Brendan. So if you go back to the 49ers Dallas game, we have a safety at the end of the game. Eric Armstead pulls up because he thinks he's about to get a rough the passer call.
Yep. Yep.
That's exactly what we're
Yep.
seeing. That's exactly what's going to continue to happen until they make a change. I mean, and I also agree with Brandon. Like, you can't put yourself in that situation. You've got to know what's going on in that situation. You got to know that they're going to call that. And we've all played team sports. Like, you go into a certain situation, one of the things your coach is going to tell you is the refs ain't here for you. You know, we used to go into games, basketball games, and like, yo, you might as well act like you're down 10 to start the game because you're not going to get any calls here. You've got to have that mindset, especially in those times. Because I mean, what they're gonna say is he's already going out of bounds. It wasn't like he was gonna sprint up the sideline, especially with her ankle. So you've got to at least
Hurt.
know your situation. Yeah,
Yeah, but
quote
see,
unquote.
but and what y'all saying though, like back to that game you were saying, Ike in Dallas. A lot of times you got these running QBs because I done seen it before where defenders are coming in for the tackle and they pull up and then the QB recognizes it. Notice that, hey, look, this person is not setting up to tackle me, and they make another move. I done seen Daniel Jones
Mhm.
do it. I done seen Lamar do it. I done seen Allen do it. A lot of time these guys, they get ready. They be like, oh, okay, if I act like I'm going down and do a fake or a juke, I can still get 5 or 6 more yards
True.
because I know the defender is not ready to tackle me like he would tackle a receiver or a running back or a tight end or somebody, another offensive player. So, like, I feel like with that, it gotta be an area to where it's like maybe once the quarterback get 10 yards down the field, they're a normal runner or something because you gotta you you putting the defense at so much of a disadvantage. And I personally think from a competitive standpoint, and the NFL is always talking about competitive fairness. I think from a competitive fairness standpoint, if you have a very athletic quarterback that can run, that can move, it puts the defense at a disadvantage because they cannot be as aggressive as they would with other positions, and I don't think that's right.
I,
Um,
I think they
Brent,
changed that in college though. You remember your boy Kenny Pickett was running down the field, faked the slide. You know what I'm saying? Ended up turning that into a touchdown. So I know they changed that rule in college, but I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
I think I've seen Mac Jones do something like that, like
that's
running
what
towards out of bounds, and
Mm-hmm.
then
That's straight
saw
up.
Yep.
somebody
Daniel
somebody like
Jones.
slacked up.
He's right
If
on
you
the
watch
money.
Daniel Jones is a professional at it. He does it a lot. He fakes out a lot of linebackers and stuff and act like he go down and he makes a move and keep going. But Brandon is saying he agree with you. Hobble Mahomes can't let him get the edge like that. You
Absolutely.
just you
That
can't.
is
Yeah.
not referees.
No,
And
no,
so
no.
yeah, at that
Uh,
point, the
Like,
ref can't do nothing.
that's
and I
that's
agree with you though,
playing
Jared. Like,
football.
yeah, at the end of the day, I agree with you. They overcame everything, so they lost because of what they didn't do. I'm not
Right.
blaming the game on the rest, so don't
Mhm.
get me wrong.
No.
It's just it's certain parts that I just can't stand about the game where
Yeah. There
you
was a
know
I mean, there was a shit
refs
ton of
swing momentum, man. Like,
yeah.
and that's big. That's my thing.
Yeah, there was a
So
shit ton of calls that were just like, bro, what?
yeah.
And 9 calls that's like, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like how you
Like
not call that? Like
popping
yeah.
that 3rd and 9, and that was I've never seen anything like that.
Okay, so just one more last point on the rest before we move on to our next topic. I just want to say another thing that impacts this also. The refs aren't full time employees of the NFL.
They aren't.
They're all part time. No.
No.
So I think the fact that I'm sure they're paid well, but it's not their full time gig. A lot of these guys got other jobs. They're impacted by other things, other decisions, other things going on, tiredness, whatever it may be. I think you make them full time employees, so you can hold them accountable on a certain level that you not necessarily hold the players accountable on. But I think, hey, look, if you're consistently blowing calls, non-reviewable calls at that, then there should be some penalty or fine, or you should lose a game, you know what I mean, or something like that, or there should be a fine or something like that, because players, y'all can eject the player at will for unnecessary roughness or unsportsmanlike conduct, and it's all subjective to what y'all believe. Just like kind of in the Niners game too. Like, of course, things was getting kind of edgy at the end, but it was so much going on in that group. It's so many people you could have Trent Williams with him, but it's so many people in a scuffle. You could just pick the ones out that you want to get rid of, and it can impact the game. Let's see. Brandon also said they bonus for playoff games. Take that bonus away after the ref report. Yes, absolutely.
Hey, we need to bring Brandon on the show.
Hey, yeah, I
We
think
are.
Boy got
We are.
bars.
We
we're
are.
working on that.
That's Crossroad. You remember I was
Yeah.
telling
Okay.
y'all? Yep.
Yeah.
So he's
And he said, "Don't get me started on the NBA's
Oh
2-minute
man,
report."
like
Okay. All
yeah,
right.
So we
he's giving
looking
that
forward to that collab, Brandon.
Absolutely,
Okay,
absolutely.
for
All right,
sure.
so let's move on to something.
I just want passion, love and attraction, let me know that shit. Going outside, I just like passion. Say I'm classy, ready for the madness. If you catch me, I just want passion, love and attraction, let me know that shit. Phone charge on its last light. Same clothes I'm from last night. Still lit like it's last night. Young living in the fast life. Young. Smoke cloud from the ash pipe. Catch air from the half pipe. I need to send a phone from the shows with the mansion. Chandelier dancing. Counting a phantom. Yeah. Been had hella Franks, man, it's ballpark figures. Might be in the field, but I came from the trenches. You can tell it's my time, look at better squint. I do like the charm on my wrist, let me flip. Want me pay the way, I'm the wave, I'm authentic. Sitting courtside, got a sprain, nigga. I bring the gang for the gang. Nothing but a thing when I sing. Young Usain, I sprint it. Getting fresh prints. Counting a blessing on blessing on blessing. They call me the reverend, y'all nigga play too much.